very soon. Mystic is in great shape right now, but you know, actually, Cheetah's in pretty great shape as well. Since, you know, well, he's got a couple bases over here. But another Nidus Worm spawning in the main. He's going to try and clean up the last of these tech buildings. He's already lost the Templar Archives once. I believe he rebuilt it somewhere, maybe, unless he just let those Zerglings kill it. Why is he producing more observers when he's got a cache of 4 over here? A little bit sloppy, but I guess he just kind of forgot he had a main ever. Now he's going to lose a lot of tech buildings over here. Really needs that Templar Archives, though. Not as much now that he's going with these Ultras. The High Templar are not going to do nearly as much as they were against the Roaches, although they weren't really doing terribly a whole ton of good against the Roaches either. Oh! Ow! Ooh, oh, man. All those Ultras getting stuck in that little gap and getting stormed all over the place. Look at this. This Overlord's chilling over here. He's just waiting to make another Nidus Worm. This Nidus Worm goes down before it even spawns in. Again, he's almost like forcing him to fall back, keeping him in his base just by virtue of these Nidus Worms. He can just cast them and finally picks off that creep tumor. But he can just cast them. What is he doing? Come kill this stuff. He can't come and defend his main, because if he does, a Nidus Worm spawns and kills all of his mining. So he's just going to have to sack his natural expansion, his very first expansion over here, sacrifice it, in order to make sure he can save his 2 mining bases over here, keep his army next to them. That is absolutely amazing. It's ridiculous, and it's just very, very powerful. It's very cool to see that being used by this Zerg player, Korean Zerg player, MysticPrime, just keeping Cheetah on his toes, keeping him completely in his base. He's completely pinned in, and he can't leave at all. I mean, look at the amount of cannons he had to put up over here just to make sure he could leave his base and come attack these expansions before. Just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. It looks like he's got more Roaches out. I like this composition. I'm surprised we don't see some Void Rays or something actually from Cheetah. So those would be really, really nice about now, because there's the Spire. Never mind. I was going to say he doesn't even have any buildings to make anti-air. He never even made a Hydralisk Den. He just would have to... Queensers only anti-air. They both basically stayed ground this entire time, which is interesting. Anyway, so if you've gotten like a few Void Rays secretly in the back or something like that, then he could have come out and Void Rays would just totally nuke these Ultras. They would be really a beautiful counter to these Ultras, I believe. Now that there's even with the Spire in play, actually, morphing to Greater Spire already. Gonna go for some Broodlords probably. Well, that's what the Greater Spire is for. And those are going to be pretty effective against the High Templar and such. Be able to stay out of range of the storms. That's going to be a pretty good idea there. Anyway, even with just a few Stalkers, he'd be able to defend against Metalisks, so he'd be very safe in getting some Void Rays. I think that probably would have been a pretty good way to go. It's a little bit too late now, though. I guess he figures he's invested in so much ground upgrades, although he hasn't really been upgrading that much. He lost his forges over here. He had them over here, and so he's still just at level 1 armor or level 2 weapons, and I believe the Zerg is maxed. Not quite maxed. Still waiting for +3 ground weapons, which are on the way right now. Oh, and let's see, melee attacks and carapace as well. Okay. Just heard another Nidus Worm. Where is it? I think it's just defensive Nidus Worm over here in case he needs it. Nothing in the networks right now, but if he needs it, he can pump units in there pretty quickly. He's just going to put another Nidus Worm over here just for the heck of it, just so he can reinforce and also fall back from this position, because he's going to come in and engage with a ton of Zerglings and Roaches going against all these cannons. He needs to get his forces in here pretty quick and start storming those Zerglings. They're taking down the cannons so fast, he needs to storm those Zerglings immediately. He sees all those High Templar run in, and he's going to fall back. In the meantime, the Ultras still just chilling in the back here. Very nice attack, though, just running in, sniping some cannons, running back before the army can get there. Finally, he spots those observers. He's going to fan them out and just see what's going on. I'm not sure what this one's doing over here, actually. But anyway, observers fanning out and just seeing what's going on around the map so he can spot things. Ooh, uh-oh. Proxy pylon over here. That would be a nice place to plant down some, I don't know, something. DTs wouldn't work, but well, I'm not sure what would work over there. Nothing in small forces would be effective, at least. Here we go. Broodlords. 5 Broodlords morphing in the background here. He's just got so much money in the bank, he can afford it. Well, he doesn't have a ton of gas right now, actually, but he's got ton of minerals. Cheetah also with a lot of gas at least, but not a lot of minerals. Here we come. No, that's just a prodding for us to see what's going on over here. So Cheetah, I'm not sure what Cheetah is doing here. I guess he's just going to try and starve the Zerg player out because he's just mining these minerals, and maybe he's just going to try and defend. He doesn't seem to want to do any attacks, and in this kind of a situation, what you really need to do is try and do some kind of a harassment. You know, try and do some harassment and make the enemy spend money that they don't want to spend. I mean, I guess he's just got a maxed army. He's just content to just chill on this maxed army. But, you know, it would be nice to maybe make some DTs and try and drop them in somewhere, kill some tech buildings, something like that. I guess that wouldn't really work in this situation very well, especially with the mobility that these Nidus Worms give him. Anyway, here we come. Major army moving in here. Is he going to go in for actual kill? No, he's just going to run in and storm. He's falling back now, trying to fall back to this choke point. Mystic is going to be forced to fall back a little bit, just to fall back to his own location, but both players basically falling back. Neither player really has what it takes to go all out against, and there we go. Oh, is he seriously going to put a hatchery down over here? What is this? What is the purpose of this hatchery? I have no idea what this hatchery is for. These gas mines, these geysers are empty. Anyway, Broodlord's coming in and attacking the side here. They're within range of the Stalkers, but there's just too many of them. They're able to eat those Stalkers alive pretty quickly. Zealot not going to do very much good against those Broodlords. There we go. There's some, Colossi in the mix. He was going to use those against Ultras, but he's having to fight Broodlords with them now. One of the Colossus goes down. Major army battle going in here. Wow, absolutely ridiculous battle. The High Templar having to fall back. The High Templar cannot engage those Ultras. You saw before how much damage the Ultras did to the High Templar, and there they go again. Again, eating about half the High Templar army there very, very quickly with the, I'm not sure what it's called. I guess the Kaiser Blades. I thought maybe the attack that did the spread damage had a specific name for it, but I guess it doesn't. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. Vor DTs coming in here, and I missed it. They must have run some DTs in before, because apparently this base went down. I apologize for missing that. I won't miss this base going down as a mass of Broodlords flocks in to see what's going on, and a couple Nidus Worms as well. One pops out, is immediately going to start unloading all of those Ultralisks. There's a Colossus in play, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough. He needs to get it behind so it does not take damage. He's storming as well from behind. Very good move there, but he's in the open ground, so it's going to be much harder for him to do that. He's trying to storm these Broodlords as well. So many Ultralisks! Oh my god, massive damage going on. They're eating these Zealots alive. Not literally eating them. They don't actually have that ability in this game, but they are frenzied. They are doing so much damage, and they're going to start destroying probes left and right now. He really needs to get something in there, but his whole army is gone, down to 80 supply, almost all of it probes. Look at this, just a few Colossuses, and that is all he owns. Here the Colossus come in. They're going to clean up that one Ultralisk, but not before he loses his entire base. Oh, man, just disgusting. And there's still Broodlords and Ultralisks. More Zerglings streaming out. The Queens are going to come along and transfuse the injured Broodlords and Ultralisks as well. Cheetah is only mining at this base now. He's had to run all of his probes away, and I like this move, putting down the pylon wall. Very nice move. His Colossi can just walk right on top of that, so it doesn't even matter. But the Broodlords are not going to be affected by the pylon wall or the Colossi. These Stalkers are going to have to try and run in here and pick them off. Oh, Broodlord's so close to death. Not quite, and he's going to have to run over. He's finally gotten Blink. I was wondering why I didn't get that before. Anyway, the Colossi need to get in there and protect those Stalkers from the Broodlings. The Stalkers... Oh, man, Colossi, you're failing in your job. Single Ultralisk is going to come in here and die to those Colossi. But Broodlord's still going to work on these probes, and this is all Mystic's game now. Look at this. He's got the high yield, and all he's doing is mining gas with it. He's got bases everywhere. He's got so much money in the bank, whereas Cheetah has very little money in the bank. He's only got a little bit of gas. He can't even produce extra Stalkers to try and deal with this stuff right now, or any cannons or anything like that. He's just barely mining with this. Once he loses those probes, it's going to be over. Colossi in the mix are going to be able to fend off these Ultralisks pretty well, but no, now the Corruptors come in to deal with the Colossi. Perfect combo. The Broodlords, and never mind, Corruptors aren't going to do anything. They're going to morph into more Broodlords, actually. And with the excess of gas, I'm surprised he's not doing more storming that way, actually. Anyway, maybe some... Well, he doesn't even need to do a storm drop. Look at this. He's just mining at this base. He's only got... Well, he's got a decent amount of drones, actually, still. 29 probes still in the mix, so he's still got a decent amount of probes mining, although some of them are idle. Wow. This is just... this is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. I think Cheetah's time on this Earth is limited now. These Nidus Swarms have such a good grip on this location, and he's going to start mining this as well. He can fall back to this... ramp though, and that's nice. A nice location. That's basically the only reason he's still alive at this base is because he has that ramp. He can kind of fall back to, and he can kind of plug up that ramp, and the Ultras just get stormed to crap as they go in there. There we go. A few more Corruptors in play. I like this, getting the Corruptors in there to deal with the sorry, the Colossi as well. He doesn't have many Stalkers left to try and deal with the Brood Lords. He's just running in tempting storms. He has so many Templars still that he can just cast storms whenever he needs to at this point, and they'll recharge energy pretty quickly. But again, he needs to be careful he doesn't directly engage because those Ultras will own his High Templar. Here he goes, casting storms on these Ultras and falling back. He's stuck in a corner now, though. The Colossi doing massive damage. It looks like they are going to clean up these Ultralisks, but no, not going to clean them up after all. I thought they were going to clean them up, but the army in front melted too much. He didn't have anything there. And there, ChiTaPrime, GG's, completely pinned back in his base. And wow, that was ridiculous to watch. Wow, that was an insane, insane game. Nidus worms everywhere. I want to see how many Nidus worms were created in this game. I don't know if I can go to the score screen, though, at this point, because let's see if done does it. Nope, can't go to the score screen. Anyway, Nidus Swarms going everywhere. Nidus Swarms owning the main, jumping back and forth, and I loved how he used them, not just as you know, he didn't just use them as a way of, you know, doing sneak attacks in the back of a base. He also used them as, you know, just sheer mobility for all his forces. He was able to fall back to them to escape. He was able to, for instance, over here, run in, get some attacks in, kill some cannons, and then run his forces away before they engage the main army. So a kind of a harassment tool, and just basically giving him mobility anywhere on the map. He could defend and attack at the same time with these Nidus networks, sorry, because he could attack, and then if he got counterattacked, he could just fall back and unload them out of his Nidus networks here as well. Maybe it was because of the speed. Maybe so he could unload both, and they would unload twice as fast. That may have been why he got both those Nidus networks there. Not sure. Anyway, either way, extremely well played by Mystic, and just beautiful, beautiful work with the Nidus networks. And you know, in the end, just outplayed him. And Cheetah did a really good job of holding off all those attacks and trying to, you know, fend things off and stay a little bit mobile. I really love the mass Templars, you know, 20 High Templar running around storming willy-nilly. And in the end, though, Mystic just had too much map control, too much territory, and in the end, too many resources. So when they traded armies, Mystic was able to rebuild massive amounts of Ultralisks and high power units, and Cheetah was not. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this game very much, because I did. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.